Hi, my name's Courtney Jackson, and I'm doing my speech on the LGBT community. Just showing you my group here of everyone I got. So I'll start. Um, so first, I wanted to say, picture someone that you love most in your life. Obviously, someone you love romantically. And now imagine that they were in the hospital and you were essentially completely helpless in the situation. You couldn't make decisions. They were, dying or sick and you couldn't do anything. Or think about a job you really wanted, and because of that person that you loved, maybe you didn't get the job. Or imagine getting bullied every day for the people you love. Um, I watched a documentary on Netflix called The Outlist, and we first had this CoCultural assignment, and she wanted us to pick a culture that was, different from our own views. So I chose the LGBT community. During that, I found that a lot of people. I always thought that, gay people were very hard liberals. You had these outrageous opinions and ideas, and I found that a lot of people really had the same ideas, very, conservative Republicans, and I found that very interesting. One person, his name is Ross Matthews, and he is on the channel E, and he does like interviewing on the red carpet, like, what are you wearing? And a quote that he said was, love yourself, whatever makes you different, and use it to make you stand out. And I really love that quote because nowadays we try to really hide, what makes us different, and I felt that quote really goes into my first point of individualism. I feel like society has really taught people to hide, their differences, whether, like buying all the trendy clothes, stuff like that, and really blending in is key. Jay Patel, an author of If Not You, Then Who, writes a book about leadership in the workplace. And he specifically talks about teachers and how teachers have restrictions on, how they have to hide who they are themselves. And he says, teachers are supposed to be our role models, and how are we supposed to teach, kids to be themselves if, you can't be yourself? So I thought that was a pretty good point as well. Also, another inequality that I feel is healthcare. A lot of partners, again, have no rights when it comes to, their partner in the hospital, whether it's, they're dying and maybe they're on life support, and they feel that their partner wouldn't want to be on life support. They have no decision in that matter. Now, since marriage equality, people can get married now. That's changed a little bit, but also insurance. Partners weren't able to provide insurance for loved ones. So now that, again, marriage equality, that's changed a lot. Another thing is gay men weren't able to donate blood because of the risk of HIV or AIDS. And that actually, since the sexual revolution in the 70s, that number of gay men who have AIDS has drastically decreased over the years, compared to heterosexual people are actually have statistically more cases of HIV or AIDS. And lastly, I wanted to talk about constitutional rights. I feel that specifically like the Ninth Amendment, which is essentially like people can't take the law into their own hands, that, we have to follow the rules. And a point I have on that is that sexual orientation and gender identity still aren't protected under a hate crime in more than 20 states. And while this is a constitutional law, it's still, in some states, they aren't protected. I also wanted to bring up the 14th Amendment of, you can't deprive people of life and liberty in pursuit of happiness, and also we can't deny people equal protection under the law. And a lot of gay people are still discriminated and, have hate crimes against them all the time, and yet, these laws that should be protecting anyone, no matter who you are, we still seem to somehow discriminate against them. But in conclusion, I feel that everyone deserves happiness, no matter your sexual identity, because, talking about just clearly the law, that it shouldn't matter who you love or who you are, you should have equal protection and equal rights. So that's it.